Okay, so what do we do now? What's next? You've listened to the welcome message, you have some idea of what's going on and what we do. Now, I've been asked a lot of times, what's the most important thing to do next when you're first starting out? Well, the first thing to do is your copyright document. Now, oh, but let me mention something first. You see me sitting here in my hospital bed. The reason that is because maybe a little less than a year ago, I had a problem, and I was in Mass General Hospital for uh, probably about 60 days, and and then I went to rehab and stuff like that. So uh, I almost lost my battle uh, while I was in there, but uh, I'm breathing and I'm able to think and stuff. Unfortunately, I can't get out of the bed because of some uh, leg issues that I have. So I'm stuck in this bed. However, my brain is not. Now, that's part of my old history. Um, so before I get into the other stuff, my I'm going to be having my nephew, my grandson, start helping me out with some of the commercial processes that we get going. And that's going to be good for you because he's going to be uh, getting his notary so he can do notarization of documents and stuff. But there's something in commerce that most notaries that are out there now have no idea about what power they have. A notary has almost the same power as a justice of the peace. That's right. But all the notaries that we have out there now have no idea that this even exists. All they do is notarize documents and say, yep, it was him. Nope, it wasn't him. That kind of thing. Well, a commercial notary is a whole other animal because if you're going to present documents to the court, usually if you put affidavits and stuff into the court ignores them. They don't even pay attention to them. They just think it's nonsense from the peanut gallery. Don't bother me. I can't read that. But if you send it under notary seal and the presentment is made by the notary, they can no longer do that because the notary is an officer of the court. And if he signs on to something, it's as good as having a judge give you his, as far as somebody believing him. No, he's definitely believed because he's one of them, basically. So when a document comes to the notary, what the notary does is he signs He signs it, notarizes the documents, makes copies of it, and stuff like that. Keeps records. And then what he does is he does a presentment for you. Now, a presentment is something simple as this. I give the notary the document. He notarizes it, and then he does the next thing, which is he's going to do the mailing. So the notary mails this document, certified um, or registered mail if you need to, and he sends it out, and he's verified it. So there's some other documents from him that get sent to the person you're making the presentment to, and um, when he does that, it has a lot more power. And if the person you sent it to does not respond to the document, in other words, that person is supposed to answer the document with his own affidavit, and then he's supposed to return it, his affidavit, his answer, to to your um, to your notary. If he doesn't, then the notary who did the presentment can issue a certificate of non-response. So what does this do? This verifies that they received the document that the notary sent. Then he verifies that they did not respond to it, and then issues a certificate of non-response. Now, after they do 3 of these, the documents are considered to be um, in dishonor. So once they're in dishonor, now you can take those documents that you sent to these people, you can go to court, and you can force a judgment because they've already had court, you know. So these people can't come in and start saying, "Oh no, he didn't. No, 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 no," because the judge is going to ask him, "Well, did you respond to this document?" Well, no, that's all just bullshit. We're not gonna. That's craziness. Well, it's not craziness, and if you don't respond to them, then you agree with everything that's in the document. Ooh, there's some powerful stuff there. Because you should read our documents. When you read our documents, you find out very quickly that who would not answer these things because they tell you all kinds of stuff that you did wrong. And if you don't deny it, or you can't prove that you didn't do it, then you're on the hook for it. And you're going to have to pay whatever penalties are contained in them documents. And this is the power of the notary. Now, trying to find a commercial notary, almost impossible. Try it yourself. Go online and look for notaries who will do a presentment for you. They won't do it. They're all afraid. They're afraid to get involved. Well, that means that we're going to be one of the only people in this country that are doing them. Now, the country's a big place. And to be one of the only few that do that, it's an important thing. Now, we're also going to be doing the documents for people. What we found out is that people are confused and almost terrified of these documents because they're afraid of making a mistake. So, in order to take that part of the process, the scariness out of it, my grandson and I are going to start doing the documents for people to make it easier for them. We're also going to be doing the mailings. We're going to do the presentments. Now, my grandson should have his notary in another month or so. But until then, we're still going to do them and do them as a third party witness. In other words, you still have a witness that says that they did not respond to the documents, and also a witness that they were mailed to them and what the documents were. Excuse me. Yeah. So they're still valid. It's just that the notary makes it like 10 times more uh, uh, 10 times more valid. Okay, so you get an idea that's where we're going with this. We're going to do the documents for people, and we're going to do notary presentments. All right. So now, again, the first thing that you've got to do um, is to do your copyright document. Now, your copyright is a very important thing because it protects you. Now let's just give you a little scenario. The story I told you about my grandson. They stopped him. So now, 9 times out of 10, the only dealing that you're going to have with government or the law is at a traffic stop. So you need to have all your weapons that you can use. Um, Not physical weapons, but, paperwork, uh, legal stuff. So let's say you get pulled over. Same thing, scenario, the cops says you did a few miles over the speed limit, blah, 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 whatever the story is. Uh, so what do? Well, at the traffic stop, you open your window, about that far, and you take your copyright document. You have a bunch of them printed up and left in your car and on your person if you can, like in your wallet or something like that. You take the copyright document and you slide it out the window. It's open this much. You slide it out like that, and you say, "Officer, this paper is for you. This is in case you should decide to um, do anything legally with me. You want me to contract with you. You need to read this for your own economic protection." Now, on the copyright, it basically explains what the penalties are, this, that, and the other thing if you put if you put copyrighted property on any documents, including a traffic ticket, okay? If he does that, then he's contracted with you to pay the the, the penalty, the copyright violation fee. So most cops will take a look at it. First of all, when you give it to him, it's evidence in the case. Okay? It's evidence right away that you're handing in, and you tell him that this is evidence for any case that you might bring against me. So now he's required by law to handle that piece of paper very carefully. He can't just ignore it, and he can't throw it away. Because if he does, he's violating public records property uh, laws that go back hundreds of years. So anyway, he's holding on to it now. He reads it. 9 times out of 10, he's going to say to himself, I don't know if this is real or it's not real, but if it is, I'm going to lose my house to this guy. You can lose your car, everything. And believe me, we can go there. So most of them will just tell you to have a nice day and go on your way. And that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for a confrontation. You don't want to fight with these people. You don't even want to argue with them. They tell you to get out of your car. You just ask him, is that an order? If he says yes, that's an order, then you get out and you do it. But you're going to charge him for any orders that you fill. You see, because if that cop goes into work in the morning and his boss orders him to go out onto the highway and start taking tickets and stuff like that, well, he does that. He does exactly what he's told, and then he gets paid for what he does. Well, why should you be any different? And you tell him right up front, I'll be glad to do whatever you tell me to do, officer, but it's $2,500 for each order filled. See, because I'm a businessman, and you are busting up my time and putting me through a bunch of nonsense here on the side of the road. So if you're going to do that, and you want to, you want me to hand you this and do this for you, and I'm charging you $2,500 for each time I do any of that. And they're going to laugh at you and go, that's funny. No, it ain't funny. It's real. And the copyright notice states it all pretty clearly. So now, if he goes and he writes you a ticket anyway, some of them are very ignorant. Most cops are not ignorant, and if you do this with them as a gentleman and treat them nicely and talk to them right, they're going to look at that and they're going to say, okay, well, fuck it, I can go bother the next guy. But if he's a dumb one, and there are some out there, no doubt about it, he'll write your ticket anyway. As soon as he puts your name on that ticket, he's on the hook. 15,000 silver eagles. And you can make him pay. So that's why the copyright document is so important. Because it's not just him. If you got people coming after you for money, credit card companies, this, that, and the other thing, hey, they're doing the same thing. They're using your copyright. And you can force them to do it. You can force them. Let's put it this way: if you got bad credit, take that copyright document and you inform the three companies that do all the data reporting that they're using your copyrighted property, and if they don't remove it, they're going to be on the hook for the copyright fees. Let me tell you something. You're not going to have a bad credit report anymore. They're going to have to take all that shit off of there. Power. You got power you don't even know about. So now you don't have a bad credit report. What do you know? So the copyright notice is definitely the most important thing to start off on next. And the copyright notice and the traffic document that goes with it are contained within those uh, download documents that I mentioned in the welcome home video, in the welcome video. They can be sold separately, but they're more money. It's like anything else. If you buy 5 grapes, you're going to pay a lot of money for it. If you buy a whole bunch, it's a little less. And this is the same way. If you want to buy the documents separately, that's fine, but they're a lot more expensive. They're all included for the $30 inside the digital download. So you got to remember that. So okay, that's it for this one. We'll get back to you later. And if you decide you want to do this, just message me on Facebook and tell me that you intend on purchasing it, and then I'll give you the information, or one of the other posts I put on there. The one that said, "Hey, I think you might need some materials, educational materials." That explains mostly how to do it. But I like to know from the people that are going to purchase the package, because I do payments on PayPal. Now, you don't have to have an account on PayPal to use your debit card or your credit card. Um, as far as I know, it can be done. So keep that in mind. And when you do, when you do place the order for the document download, got some gas problems. When you do place the order there, I'd like to have a message from you, so that I get your name, your address, and stuff like that. Because if you should decide to put the documents on my registry, my public registry for registering documents, I need to know who's doing it, because sometimes people don't have an account on PayPal, but they want to use somebody else's PayPal to pay it. Well, I'm not a mind reader, and I can't tell who actually did it. Because I have one guy sending me the money to buy the thing, and then I got somebody else that's not getting it because they never told me that it was for a different person. Because I usually send them to whoever sent me the payment. I usually use their address right there, their email address, and I send the notification to them so they can download it. But it never gets to the person that ordered it. So I'm just looking for ways to avoid that problem. Because you'd be surprised. I get people that, say, "Hey, I never got it. I never got it. You never sent it to me." Da, 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 da. Well, I sent it to the guy that ordered it. Now you're calling me. I don't know you from Adam. And you're telling me I didn't send you something. Well, I don't have any record of you paying for anything. So how am I supposed to know who you are? Anyway. So that's going to be enough for this particular video. We'll be doing more because I want to cover a lot of the processes that we do and give people an idea of what's going on. So the copyright document definitely is important, and that should be the first thing that you do. Okay? All right. Later.